Hi everyone, it's Tom Mackey here again. Now, I've just come back from photographing the super bloom in Southern California, and I've exchanged those carpets of orange for carpets of yellow here in my home county of Norfolk in England. Now, I wanted to do a little extension about a previous video that we did on tripods and ball heads. I want to talk more about the ball head and some more of the features about tripods. So I'm going to be talking about ball heads and why you need one in your life. So most tripods nowadays come with either a pan and tilt head, which is, you've got three different adjustments, vertical, horizontal, and the panning. Those really aren't ideal when you're trying to work fast. That's where a ball head comes into its own. You have one adjustment. So you can set it for vertical, like that, but preferably you have an L bracket, like this. So then you can just switch to a vertical very quickly and easily. And what that does, it keeps the central nodal point, or near enough, and we'll get to nodal points in a minute. So like I mentioned before on previous videos, if you're on uneven ground, you don't have to jockey your legs. You simply loosen your leveling base, and this one needs a little bit of oil. Spirit level there, it's level. Okay, now I have a spirit level on my hot shoe, level that out, it's done. Now, as I turn that, spirit level, the bubble is going to stay level because everything is nice and level. So everything is more or less pivoting on the nodal point. So a few of you have been asking about the nodal point, not needle point, not noodle point, nodal point. Now, a nodal point is basically the center of your lens, the optical center of your lens. And you want that as close to the pivot point on your tripod so that you don't get a parallax effect. Now, this does vary according to the lenses that you're using. So the type of lens where you would actually amplify that effect would be with a telephoto. But here we're using a wide angle lens, so you're not going to be that concerned with getting it right smack on the nodal point. So my advice on this is to keep it simple, stick with a ball head, an L bracket, and Lightroom, and it's going to be a breeze. It's going to be so easy to make panoramics that way. So there will be some of you out there that will be saying, okay, well, it's going to be a few degrees off this way or that way. We're concerned about keeping it simple. We don't need to be exact. We're not creating these massive stitched panoramics with verticals and lateral stitches. So I think if you stick to a very basic ball head, L bracket, and Lightroom, you'll be able to make panoramics very, very easily. So something I always get asked is what equipment do I use? So let me run down this. I'm going to tell you about the ball head first. Let's take this off. Okay, if you want to know this, it's, wow, I need my glasses for this. It's GH3382QD. This is a Gitzo ball head. When this first came out, Gitzo redesigned these, and I got hold of these before they were released, just to trial it. And I gotta say, I was using Really Right Stuff before this. So when I used to use the Really Right Stuff, I just found that the adjustments were quite small. Especially when you've got gloves on, you're working in the wintertime, it's hard to make the adjustments. The rubber around this makes it much easier. So next is the leveling base. Now, this is great for doing your panoramics, like I said before, but this is only good for the Series 3 Gitzo tripod, because if I were to slide this out, you'd have a really large neck, a hole where this will slide right into it. Now you can get, I did mention this in other videos, where you can get these sort of like a reverse ball head, which are really good. So you don't have to go to the expense of this, and if you've got a tripod already, I would recommend going for one of those. But if you like that Gitzo tripod, which I would recommend, not only because I'm an ambassador for Gitzo, but I do believe in the tripod. I wouldn't use it if I didn't. So if you're going to go for Gitzo tripods, go for the Series 3, where you get these really long leg extensions up to 2 meters. Now, you might think that it's going to be really heavy, but it's not. It's very lightweight, but the most important thing with these is they're very sturdy. So if you already have your tripod, and you want the same sort of mechanism, go for a reverse ball head. There's several on the market. Now, thirdly, let's see if I can just put this back on real quick. Now, lastly is the L bracket. Now, these things are great, and I've been able to have the same L bracket for my D800 when I moved up to the D810 and now the D850. It's fit all three of these, which is fantastic. I haven't had to buy a new one. The L bracket that I'm using is a Really Ret Stuff L bracket, and so this actually fits quite easily on this head. And one thing I like, oh, the other thing, that just reminded me. Now I had the Really Ret Stuff head that had the lever action. Now that's very exact as far as where it locks in. The nice thing about let me just tighten that up. There we go. The nice thing about this is that you can actually tighten to any sort of degree necessary to lock this in place. Now you might think, well, why? The reason is, say if you've got a telephoto and you've bought a bracket to fit on your collar of the telephoto, you've got to have exactly the right one to fit the lever. Now I bought an off-brand. I didn't want to spend the money that Really Ret Stuff was charging, so the guy in the camera shop said, yes, this will work just as well. So I tried it, it doesn't, because it was a millimeter out and it would slide off. So this actually works much better, so depending on whatever size bracket you have, it'll tighten up, no problem. Well, I hope this has been useful to you and has cleared up some of the questions that you've had about ball heads, brackets, and tripods. Make sure that you do watch our previous video about tripods. That'll be really good information. And also, this tripod has been updated since I've had this. It's a 3542 XLS, which I think is probably now 3642 or something like that. But anyway, it's been updated. All that information will be in the comments below. So as ever, thanks for watching, and many of you have probably already subscribed to our channel. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button. But you may be interested in subscribing to our monthly newsletter where we have loads of tips on landscape photography. So thanks for joining me today in this beautiful Norfolk countryside. See you in the next video. Bye for now.